Basic product sourcing will only take you so far selling on Amazon. And if you want to scale in 2025, you need more advanced strategies. The sellers who win aren't just scrolling through the same deals that everyone else sees, they're using sourcing methods that most other sellers overlook. So, in this video, I'll break down the advanced sourcing method that I use to consistently find those kind of products that most other sellers miss. In order to get to Keep a Product Finder, we'll just come to keepa.com, regular homepage, come into data and then product finder. And we're going to run through an actual live search of this and source some products out of here because I think a lot of people don't take advantage of this software to the full extent. And this is one of the things that people don't really use. So we're going to throw into the sales rank here. We're going to do 150,000 here. I think that should be like the max for new sellers to go up to. You can push it closer to 200,000, and when you're looking at different variations and stuff, it doesn't really matter as long as the offer count's moving. But we want to cut this number down because, as we can see here, we've got 29 million products in here. So we have to put in some criteria in order to get to the small amount of what we want and more dialed in. We don't need any 30-day average rank in here because it could change. Something could fluctuate a lot. It could be that it was at 151 last month for the last 30-day average, and then it's going to cut it out if you put it into this two box here. We don't need a from in here. There's no minimum BSR that we care about. Buy box, I would say for new people, try to stick around like 20 to 25 minimum, and then maximum probably like 150, maybe 125, as low as that. Just because when you start doing higher ticket items and you get returns for them in the beginning, it's going to hit you a lot harder than if you're in a spot like I am 3 years down the line, because these refunds are going to be taken out of your account whether the customer has sent the item back yet or not, or whether you've received it back most of the time. So until they send it back, you're going to lose this money out of your balance. You're not going to be able to withdraw it. You're not going to be able to pay off your credit cards as easily or whatever method of capital you use. So you want to try to keep these relatively smaller. I would say a good max for beginners is probably like 100 to 125 if you want to be more conservative. But if you don't care too much, then you can do 150 easily. Amazon, always just out of stock. Never want to compete with Amazon when we're looking at these, because then you're going to get ones that they dominate. You're going to get ones that they maybe do a little bit less. It's just going to add in a lot of bulk there that we don't want. New third party FBA and FBM, I don't worry about at all. New is just the lowest offer on the listing. So it doesn't mean that they're getting sales there. It doesn't mean that the listing is down at that price. That's why we do the buy box value right here instead. So ignore all of this stuff underneath it. Also, nothing used, refurbished, collectible, eBay, definitely not. This is where you can kind of make the decision on what you want to source for. If you want to do a category wide search, you can pick a certain category. You can also exclude certain categories. So for my preference, I would exclude Alexa, Amazon Autos, Amazon devices, apps and games, most likely, because that's going to be a lot of electronic stuff. Audible, books, I don't do. CDs and vinyls, no. Cell phones and accessories is tough because you don't want to look at cell phones because that's going to have batteries in them. So it's going to come with extra shipping regulations. The accessories is not bad, but they're usually really low ticket sale prices. So I just exclude the whole category. If you are going to do something like this, you're going to have to sort through all of the phones in there and just ignore a lot of results. It might fill up most of your search anyway to where it's not worth it. Credit and payment cards, obviously, that's not something that we'd want to do. Digital music again. Electronics is hit or miss again because batteries. But you can do a filter that I'm going to show you down at the bottom to kind of get away from that. Gift cards, no. Kindle, definitely not. Magazine subscriptions, Prime Video, no. Video games is also hit or miss, lower ticket sales on a lot of them. Video shorts, definitely not. Software, definitely not. So if you're going to exclude things, those would be the ones to exclude and do a very broad search. but I'm not going to even bother with the categories. We're going to do this one here, which is brand. Everything else in this box you don't need to worry about. It's all useless information that we don't need. So we can do, again, the same thing is one of, we could do like Gap, for example, Calvin Klein. We'll do Calvin Klein because I know that they have a sale going on. So if we find any good products, then that would be something for you guys to potentially look into. You can also do the is none of again if you want to exclude certain brands. Maybe you're doing a clothing, shoes, and jewelry broad category search and you're hard gated in Nike, Adidas, like most new sellers are. You can kick those out and then get as many brands as you want. I would typically do this kind of search for either category wide search if you're just trying to expand your catalog, or if there's a sale going on a certain website and you don't want a manual source. This is a perfect way to get around that. Like if Calvin Klein had a sale going on right now and it was really good and you didn't want a manual source through the whole website, you can throw this brand in here. It's also good because then you're not just targeting the things that are on sale on that specific one. Maybe you'll find something from a different supplier. Like Nordstrom has a lot of Calvin Klein stuff at low prices pretty often. So you wouldn't get those products also if you were just doing the sale on their brand website. Down here in the next section, total offer count. This is where you're going to want to put in a 2 if you care about competition in the beginning. If you do, I would say probably like 30 is a good rule of thumb, maybe 25 just to limit your competition and make sure you can get everything sold a lot quicker. And then you'll want to exclude the private label listings potentially if you're not doing a specific brand, whereas Calvin Klein, definitely not a private label brand. So we don't need to worry about a minimum here. What you can also do is, since we're at 1,100 of ones that definitely have offers on them, what we can do, or we could do 1 to 30 and it didn't actually change. So that would be how you validate that. But what I was going to say about this is if you want to target out of stock listings that maybe just recently went out of stock, have been out of stock for a long time, you can throw a 0 in here. And for this brand, it doesn't have any that are out of stock that meet our criteria. But if you wanted to target those to try to dominate a listing, get 100% share of the buy box, that kind of stuff for a short period of time or a longer period of time, depending on if people bring it back in or not, that would be how you target those kind of listings. Under here, new offer count, used offer count, we don't worry about because we have the total in here. A lot of our listings aren't going to have used offer counts on them anyway. And the new offer count is included in this because of that. All of this stuff we don't need to worry about in here either. If you have a specific seller that you want to target, you can throw their ID in here. We'll get to that after we find some products and get some sellers on a listing, and I'll show you how to do that exactly. But all of this stuff we don't need to worry about. If you want to cut this list down, you don't want to look through 1,000 products, you can click on this show only one variation for per product. But what it's going to do is just pick a random variation. So you're going to have to do a little bit more work and detailed analysis on each product because you might get a bad variation. And then you'll have to go in and check all the rest of them, which you should be doing anyway. But it's just not going to really do much for you. And we can see it cut it down by over 1,000 products there. So that is something that you can do if that is your preference. All of this kind of stuff we don't need to worry about here. The only other thing that you might want to put in that I haven't seen yet that I'll go back is sales per month. But down here, what I was talking about electronics and stuff, you can turn on these additional switches. So if you're looking in electronic category, you'll want to do batteries included, no, for sure. Batteries required doesn't matter as long as you click on no for batteries included. If you're looking at other categories, maybe perfumes and stuff, or mechanical products, stuff like that, like auto products, you'd want to turn off hazmat because you can't send those into FBA most likely. Heat sensitive also if you're in the middle of the summer and it's not past October 15th until the end of that period where it starts to get warmer again, you'll want to turn off heat sensitive also so that way you don't get any meltables or anything. Adult products also, you'd probably want to turn off just to exclude that kind of stuff there. Before the bought and pass month, what we can do is just search it, and it is underneath this part where it was the show only one variation per product. So if you want to target higher selling listings when you're not doing a brand wide search like we are, you can put in potentially like 50 to 100 in the minimum, and then you could put a max if you want to. Doesn't necessarily need it though. But for this, what we can do is just click on find products here, and it's going to load our 1,100 products in here. If you have a very large search, it is only going to show you 10,000 of them. So you probably want to adjust your filters to get it down to 10,000 so that way you can see all the products if that is something you're going to do. But if you ever need to go back and change stuff, also, you'll want to click on this advanced filter button here. It'll bring you back to the search with all of your stuff filled in already. And the same, for some reason, it's got less products in here. I don't know what that's about, but it kicked out 4 products. So that's how you would change that stuff. If you were to click on just product finder or go back in Chrome, it will erase your filters just so that way you're aware of that kind of stuff. Now, what we do from here is you'll want to have your categories kind of lined up like I do here across the top. This is the most important information. And then get this Amazon button here. I believe it's under the filter locale in here. And once I click on this, it does take it away. So you'll want this on here because that way you can click on the Amazon logo here. It'll bring you straight to the Amazon page instead of clicking on this, going to Amazon through here, and then you're going to lose your search there. So you'll have to come back into it. It does bring you back if you do it that way, but if I was to click on product finder, it won't. And I'll show you guys that at the end of the video just to confirm that. So what we're looking at here is we're going to hover over these and kind of get an idea of the Keepa chart, just basic information. We could click on them like this if we wanted to and do it that way. What I would typically want to sort by isn't always sales rank, but you can also do the 90-day drop percentage here. And you'll see here that it is a little bit backwards. So we've got a negative 66% here with a red up arrow, which means for whatever reason that the buy box has gone up. The arrow is pretty telling, but the negative is where it kind of throws a lot of people off. They think negative 66 means it dropped 66%, but it actually has gone up here. So what we can do is we can open up some of these and we'll see that this isn't great. I mean, it did bring it down because of Amazon here. We can go ahead and open that up there. And then we can also look at some other ones in here and just kind of get a better idea of what things are looking like. So this is a very slow moving Keepa chart here. We can also check the variations and see like what's going on with the other ones because that wasn't too bad of a price chart. It was just a little bit worse on the offer counts there. And we can see here that we do have some good movement in this one. So we can open up this one here. Decent movement here, not too bad. All of these ones are pretty slow except for these here. These are decent also. This one's a little bit better. Here too. These ones. And this is a pretty long list in here of products. So what we can do before we go through all of these, and this is the problem with this, is you're going to get it like this. So you may want to open up the Amazon page first, and this one does have Amazon on the listing. This one too. All of these ones have Amazon on there. So what we'll do here is we got a max cost of $28.09 there. And we can see that it's most likely gonna be this one here, but not too sure. Memory touch is the thing there. So what we can do is just kind of do this and then search it this way. Modern was the one from this one here. Yeah, so that's gonna be the product here. So we've got $25 off every 100 here. What we can do is just go ahead and make sure that these sizes are actually there. So this one is there. That one is not. So we'll get rid of this one, but let's just check. Yeah, this is not a great chart anyway. It is trending downwards, so that's not great. This one here is pretty good. So it just depends on our cost here. So we've got 3640, right? So we can do 3640 times 3 because that's going to push us over 100 right there. And it has to be before tax also, the 100. So some of these products on Calvin Klein are going to come out to like 99.75, 99.80, whatever. You have to do an extra unit, unfortunately. But we'll do the minus $25 there, and then we'll do minus 10% for our email coupon that we know about, and then we'll divide this by 3. And we do get 25.26 here as a cost. And that 10% off is coming from the bottom down here. Right here, sign up and save 10% on your purchase right there. So you can get this email coupon if you have a catch-all email, then you can spam those through, get a ton of them, and then you use one per purchase. Just use a different email for your catch-all every single time because you're going to get blocked if you use the same email with 2 different coupon codes for welcome offers. So right here, this is a very good product right here that we just found right away from looking at the variations on one of those other products. So what we'll do from here is come into here and see what our bottom price is, which is most likely going to be around the 46, 45, 50 range. So yeah. So we've got around 45.50 here that we need. And we're going to go in and look at all of the rest of these products in here and see what's above 45.50 here. So we're just going to scroll down to the bottom, find 45.50, which is going to be right around here. So we're going to go up from here and see, is there anything else that's decent? This one's pretty decent right here. And this is not the same one. So we just want to make sure that we're not opening up the same one and wasting our time looking at a chart like that. Amazon is on this one here. So we're not going to bother with that one. This one's moving decently. And so is this one here. Amazon's on all of those. They don't have this size as we found out just from looking at the product page initially. And then Amazon is on all of these. This one's not great. It has flattened out for a little bit here. So I wouldn't bother with that one there. And Amazon is dominating all of these other ones here on a ton of them. And it could be because these just came in 43 days ago, 37 days ago. So they brought those listings in and are selling all of them. This size we already looked at. This is the one that we have open, and that's it for that list. So we have our cost here, 25.26. And then we'll just look at the Keepa charts, validate it, which this is decent. It's did slow down a little bit, but there are a lot of new offers coming in here. So you could be prepared for this to move a little bit slower, but it is still something that you may want to test out here. So let's see if we can find this color here. This is this color, and we've got that size right there. It is in stock. So that is something that you may want to do a smaller test on because it looks like nobody sold out for a while since it did push up to this price here, but somebody did back here. So you may have to drop price down a little bit, but we do have some room to move a little bit, not a ton. So this isn't like a home run product. This is something that you may want to merchant fulfill, see if you can get some units through. If not, then move on from it. This one's got good numbers here and a decent chart. Offers are going through. We like to see that. And it is a high buy box though. So we're not going to be able to make this one, I would say, just because it is just up there now. It's only reached up there a few times. So this is more risky if you want to go for that. And it could be because there's only 2 offers in here. If other people come in with it, then we'll do that also. And I forgot about the gift cards. So we're going to open up the gift card page real quick. So we've got this card bearer site open here that we use for all these orders, and we've got 4.4% off here. So what we can do is this is going to make this product even better. 4.4% off. That's our new buy cost right there. So we could even push down a little bit more on some of the other listings, but we'll just check to see if that made it really close, but not great. So assume that you could do the same play buy a couple, merchant fulfill them, see if you can get the buy box. If not, return it. But it's really up to your own personal preference on that kind of stuff. And we'll do white. They don't have that size, unfortunately. So, yeah, unfortunately, not in stock there. But it wasn't really perfectly profitable anyway. So, that's not a huge deal. This is okay. A lot of people would get discouraged by this because it did trend down, but it did come back up and flatten out, and it has been pretty consistent for a few weeks now, almost a month. So, we've got a good profitability in here, but they don't have this size. So that's the only issue with that, is going to be that they don't have that size. So would be good if it was in stock. Unfortunately, it is not in stock. So let's move on to the next product here and see if we can get some of these, which this is okay because Amazon did bring it down. It did fall down a couple times because of a few other people though. So that is a little bit concerning, but let's just see if we can find this first and get a price and then look at the other variations. So we need a 5-pack, which is this here, 52.15 times 2 minus 25 minus 10% minus 4.4% divided by 2. Yeah, so that is not a great price there. So we would need to push this up pretty high, which is probably not going to be something that's relatively possible here. We need it around $60. So let's just quickly see if any of these are at 60, which they're not. So from there, we're just going to back out of this. These are different products though. So see if we can find some of these because they are 3-packs instead of 5-packs here. So these are decent. We'll just go through these and then see if we can find this and move on to the rest of them afterwards. So we've got a 3-pack here, and that is not Calvin Klein branded, unfortunately, but we do have a 3-pack right here. So this is going to be a good reference point here. So 34.65 here. Got every size but small. And then the other ones we've got smalls in there. So it was 34.65 here times 3 minus 25 minus 10% minus 4.4% divided by 22.64. So not perfect, but let's find what our price would be here. Looking like it's going to be 40 something. It's going to be even lower than that here. Yeah, probably around 30, 41.20. So let's see if we can get any of these other ones at 41.20. But let's check the other ones real quick first also. This one's not it. Definitely not. So 41.20 here for 3-packs, and it's not looking like it. So unfortunately, this is not great either, but that's part of the process, right? So we got to get a bunch of different leads in order to find which ones are actually good and then go from there. But we do have 2 good ones right here. This one's not as great, but the other one is definitely a lot better in that sense. So let's just see if we can find some stuff with a higher buy box here. So let's open up this one. That's a little bit lower end, but we can see if we can find some of those also. We'll run through these, see what we got, and then go from there. So these look really good on velocity here. They are trending upwards. Let's just see if we can find these and see what we've got for colors on them. Only white, but that isn't the same one there. So maybe this one here. Not looking like we're getting that color, and that one's close, but it's not enough. So something else that you could do is like check in here, see if there's a product ID code or something. May also be one here, but it doesn't look like this listing's very detailed, so that's going to be bit of problem for that sense, but got other ones in here like this one that's doing good. This one too. This one's decent. And we'll just see if we can get these colors instead here. So not looking like it, unfortunately. Just weird that none of them are even coming up, and that's the only one there, and that's the Amazon listing. That I don't think is the, no, it's definitely not. See if we can find these black ones here. Still gonna search the same title, but this product code is changing a little bit, so not a horrible thing. It's not looking like any of these are available unless this one has different colors on it. Okay, so there we go. So that's the color right there. So we got 1997, and let's check this gift card percentage here. 8% on either one. So 1997. Oh, they're definitely good. It is 8% here. Oh yeah, great product right there. Not too good because of this, but it has stabilized out. So you can easily capture some merchant fulfilled sales on this. It would be a little bit riskier to send it into the warehouse because if price does drop back down to 30, then you're pretty much break even at that point. But this is a good product right here. They got size large, not available, unfortunately. But we can see if any of them are. No, they're not. So that's unfortunate. But for the sake of looking at charts and looking at products, good product right there. And then this one's probably going to be no. Yeah, definitely not. 32. 3288 might push it closer, but not all the way. Yeah. So not great. But if this one was in stock, merchant fulfill, test it, come down here, see what it was like. You'll probably ship this for like $4 to $5. You got 81% ROI right there. 76 at $5 because these are small items. They're coming in a box in the 3-pack and they're not heavy at all. So that is definitely a better play than doing it this way just in case you get that $4 shipping or maybe even less. Then you're going to be making a lot more and you can definitely capture these sales quick enough. I mean, buy box is going FBM here to this guy a lot here. And we can even validate that by coming into the buy box statistics in here and seeing were they FBA or not. And these two guys weren't. The top holders of the buy box are not FBA. So that is definitely reassurance that you can sell this product and make money on it FBM right there. So we looked at the large. We can also check the medium here. We got 1837 buy cost. That is the one that we looked at before. So we could check the extra large also. A little bit slower, definitely lower profit because it's up here at 35.99. If it was 32.88 where the buy box was at, we're not making our margin right there. But this large one, definitely a good product if it was in stock. So let's get rid of this because we're not finding those other colors in there. And we'll close out these. We can look for this real quick, see what we've got going on because that chart isn't great. Let's just see if any of them are moving good before we take the time to go and search out this price this time. And then after we validate that there are some that we'd want to take a look at, we'll go ahead and open them up because all these good ones Amazon's on. All of the ones that are moving offer count, Amazon's all over. So in the beginning, not something that you really want to take the chance on is selling on a listing that Amazon's on. But in the future, play around with it, see what's going on, see if you can make some money on those listings, depending on buy box statistics, offer count movement, that kind of stuff. But none of these are really looking great. So we'll go ahead and close this one out just so that way we don't waste any time on them. This is decent. It is on the way up here. We've got just a single pack, it looks like. No, 3-pack. Okay. So we've got a 3-pack of men's boxers here, which ultra soft. Most likely going to be this here. If you're looking at something like this where it's a 7-pack and you're thinking about splitting it up, don't do that. just because it's probably going to come in one box and you're not going to have a second box for the other pack. You're going to have one left over if it's a 3-pack. It's just going to create a lot of problems for you, and customers might complain about that. So just don't get into anything like that. Try to do that. If you're bundling other products together, not a huge deal if the 3-pack or 2-pack doesn't exist already. But if it exists, a little bit sketchy on that side there. So we've got this times 3. It's 25 minus 10% minus 4.4% here divided by 3. We did not make that price. So we need like 44.50-ish. So let's see if there are any up there in that price range. If not, then we'll move on to the next one. Let's see what else is going on here. So we do have some above that, but I don't know. We do have some other colors here. Black, gray, navy. But this waistband is not the right one, actually. It is in this photo here, but at least it looks like it, but they're not in that one. So yeah, these are not even really good offer count movement for the ones that Amazon's not on, just this one. But this is also on a very high price spike because of that low offer count there. So we'll go past that. These are the two that we had that were good. This one also, if it was in stock. So we'll just open up and try to find one more, and then we'll call this video, because this is more of like an instructional video, not really like a sourcing challenge type of thing, just to kind of give you guys the process of exactly what you should be doing when you're doing this stuff, seeing, what process to take, how to use the software, that kind of stuff. And this is exactly what you would be doing here. And this one's got a good price. Buy box hasn't gone up too much here. This one, potential. No, Amazon's all over that. This one, we can get it at 37. That would be better. Doesn't look like it's got much going through it. Yeah, definitely not. All right, so let's just see real quick if we can find these 3-pack tanks for $25 here. We might have a hit right here with this price at, yeah, potential. Got that logo in the bottom too. So that is definitely the right one. 34.65 times 3 is 25 minus 10% minus 4.4% divided by, definitely. Not the best price chart I've ever seen. I mean, it is stable, just no buy box. That's why I was saying that. But offer count decently moving, went all the way down here at this current price, and then went back up. Price dropped. Zappos is a retail store, so they have a lot bigger margins, but doesn't look like they're hitting that anymore, and they're out of stock, so I wouldn't worry about that. And they didn't last very long. The couple times that they were in stock here, it was just right there, right here for a couple days, 1 day in there or 2 days, and then a day in here. So not a huge deal there. This is a good product right here. And this is a size large. We've got a size large right here. So let's run through this and see what other ones we can get inside of this price range, which is going to be probably a lot lower. Oh, this way. We'll have to do 40 and 50. Yeah, probably a little bit higher than that though. 41, 45. Let's see if we got anything in here. That's the large that we've got. Black small, decent, but that price is below ours. So been here for a while. So that one's not horrible. This one on the way down, but also not horrible there. So we've got those. These are definitely not good options right there. And we've got $9 profit here. Been up there for a while. It did try to come back down. So maybe this is another merchant fulfilled play where you can come in, try to sell it at this price. If you don't, send it back. Do good. Like that's all you can really ask for. I mean, you don't lose any money if you're doing merchant fulfilled, and there's no chance for that. This one's not great. There's not a lot of FBA offers coming in anymore. But with our price in here, we've got 30% ROI at this current price, 42. So you do have some room to fall. Offers are moving, very FBM friendly here. So it wouldn't be a bad option to try to do that and keep it within this 42 to 47 range from what it was up here. And then you've got another good product right there. So this one's good. This one was also good. Decent right there. So see if we can. Oh, this is the same one that we already looked at. And this one, 37. Not going to do it for us right there. Yeah, definitely not. So that is a decent haul from this. I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 if it was in stock, 5, 6 products right there in the span of 35 minutes just from looking at Keepa charts and product finder. So just to kind of close out this video, like I said before, if you click on this product finder, wipes your whole entire thing. Can't go back to it. It'll just bring you back to this. So make sure you click that advanced filter button. Take a look at this, see if it works for you better than SellerAmp storefront stocking or my current setup. One VA does SellerAmp storefronts. That's newer. And then the one that's been with me for a long time used to do that, but moved over to this to get broader searches and kind of streamline things for sales instead of manually sourcing. So it is definitely something that you want to integrate into your business. It just depends on when you feel like you need it and if you want to switch things up. But as you can see, 6 products, pretty good return from just 35 minutes of sourcing. So we'll end it right there, and let me know if you guys have any questions or anything about this software down in the comments below. Just a quick reminder to end out the video, guys. If you want my personalized one-on-one help, either starting or growing your Amazon business, there's a link down in the description to book a call with me to go over how I can help you and if it would be a good fit. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.